Welcome to Free Range Flock. We were once the latchkey kids who came home to an empty house after school. We were feral, resilient, cynical, and innovative. Older than Google. Our teenage faces were never posted on social media. The internet was just an idea in our youth. Now we are older, wiser, and thriving. Our independent ways will continue to serve us. We plan to keep defying the odds, and we will carve our own path with grace, with humor, with joy, our way. We've been through some stuff. We will continue to keep pushing, and we are not going anywhere. The former latchkey kids are now the free range flock.
Sasa, So what's your go-to outfit right now?
Well, my work outfit is a pair of black pants, clogs, and a black and white top. It's easy. It's comfortable. I sit at a desk most of the time, so it needs to be, pretty flexible. But at home, always stretchy pants because during the pandemic, I fell in love with yoga pants, and so that is that's what I wear 90% of the time when I'm at home. In summer, they're a little capri length, and in wintertime, they are little fuzzy lined ones. And I throw a hoodie on top of that.
Oh my gosh. Who doesn't love a good hoodie? I just love a good hoodie. Oh my gosh. So for me, now that I'm working a job that's at home, I love comfort. I want to look put together. I want to look cute, put together, and cozy. That's kind of my thing right now.
Cozy.
So I've actually been looking at and buying like sweatshirts that actually look a bit upscale, if that makes sense. That they're cut in a kind of a classy way, but they're still very cozy and comfortable. And then I'll either wear athletic pants or jeans. So that's kind of my go-to. So right now, I think the pandemic really shook things up when it came to fashion, which really made me chuckle. People really kind of leaned into it. And once we realized that we were in it for the long haul, people really leaned into it. So we were all stuck at home and living in our pajama pants. And I know you love yoga pants. I love pajama pants. I love them so much. I wear them out. So that soft kind of flowy, that's my thing. If I had lots of money, I would go buy a bunch of pajama pants. I remember picking up my kid from school during the pandemic, and I would look and see all these moms wearing sweatpants, but their work tops at the top, and they would half tucked in to make them look a certain way because we were all on Zoom. And I wish I took more pictures then to kind of here's us during the pandemic because it was really crazy. Because people were like, I don't care. I'm going to make sure that, I'm comfortable down the bottom. And I
have to say I did it.
I did too.
Because it's the stretchy pants, the yoga pants. I call them yoga pants, but they're like athletic pants.
Yeah.
And then something nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about my job is I'm not people facing most of the time. Most of the interactions I have on Zoom or in person are internal. They're not client facing. So it makes it very nice that I can be a much more casual human. But going back to the office was definitely interesting because during the pandemic, again, everything was stretchy pants. And now I had to go out the last few weeks and buy real clothes. It's hard.
So the pandemic was not the only thing that shook up our closets, though. Getting older made finding clothes is a lot more difficult right now. And it's something that we've been talking a lot about personally. So we thought, let's do an episode on it. So how are you struggling, Sarah, when it comes to clothes?
Oh, my gosh. So everything is too short for me. That's probably one of my biggest struggles because for those of you who don't know what I look like, I'm about 5'10", and I am a curvy person. And shirts and pants tend to be too short for me because they're usually designed for someone that's about between 5'6" and 5'8". So my sleeves tend to be too short. The shirts hit me at a very awkward place. And then also being curvy makes it tough to wear certain types of clothes because they're made for skinnier folks. I'm not, I wouldn't call myself Rubenesque or anything like that, but I'm curvy. I have an hourglass figure. And so when you wear a button-up top, then you get this weird gap right over your boobs.
My friend Jen calls it, you're stressing out those buttons. Those buttons are stressed out.
Yes, exactly. And so when I find a top that looks professional and button-up, but it still has some give to it, I just celebrate it. I found one recently. I was so happy.
Yay!
But probably my biggest issue as far as like in general about clothing is that I don't want to look like my grandmother. Nothing against my grandmothers. I had 2 lovely grandmothers, but as we've talked about in previous episodes, I think people are aging differently.
Right.
And I don't want to look like my grandmother, but I also don't want to look like I raided my kid's closet. Not that I have a kid, but I don't want to look like I'm trying so hard at 57. So it's finding a age-appropriate clothing that makes me look hip, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a fashionista, but I also don't want to look like I'm 30 years out of date.
Yeah. The same thing for me. I think things are tailored to younger folks.
Yeah, exactly.
For instance, when I was younger, so you don't know what I look like people out there, but I'm about 5'5" and some change. Used to be 5'6", but now I'm 5'5" and some change. I'm also curvy. I've got big boobs. So finding things when I was in my 20s, it was all about like, how can I, like, if I'm going out, I'm going to show some cleavage because, you go in with what you got.
You're rocking it.
Yeah. So, but now I don't want to do that. Like, I'm always like, if I could, like, something's going to fall out, I'm not going to, I'm not going to do that. And then nowadays, things end, like the shirts end so, and they're like almost designed to, like, people deliberately go out there and buy shirts where their bellies are out. And I'm 54 and my belly's not going to be out. I don't care how hot it is. I don't care.
No. Not at this point in my life.
I'm not going to do that. So I want to not go out there and show my cleavage, but I also want to look cute and I want to look put together. That's my thing. Look cute and put together. There's a saying that it used to use this more. Now we don't do it so much nowadays. It's like go from day to night. You remember that whole thing?
I remember.
Day to night, which I always thought was, how to get an outfit that you can go day to night. Like you can just twist it a little bit, do day to night. Now we want to go from like looking like I want to go from like looking like I'm on Zoom and then ready to walk the dog. That's my life right now. So that expression of like ready to wear, I'm like I'm ready to nap. Someone needs to make a clothing line called Ready to Nap, and I would buy that clothing line. Just like,
oh my gosh,
I can be at work, or I can be walking the dog, or I can go pick up my kid from school, and it all works. So I'm not going to go out to the bars. That's not my life anymore. I can ready to nap. Like if you can give me 10 minutes, I can nap. I can do it. So maybe look put together. So we talk a lot about clothes, and so we thought we got to do an episode about our struggle with clothes. So today's episode is focusing on finding what fits, how to find clothing during midlife. So Sass, how have you changed how you dress now that you're in your 50s?
Well, I think you alluded a little bit to it earlier. I'm not looking for sexy. I'm not looking for the most hip thing. Or when I was younger, I so wanted to fit in, and so I would follow the trends and try to do the best I could on my limited budget. But it's like now it's more about classic, something that I can wear for multiple seasons. Making sure it's comfortable. Oh my goodness! And if it's not comfortable, it's just not going to happen. And shoes have changed dramatically because I've got nerve issues in one of my feet, so I have to be really careful about the kind of shoes. So feeling good trumps being cute every time with shoes.
Okay. So when I was younger, I was under the impression, and when you look at pictures of me, you're thinking, what is she doing? I thought wearing baggy clothes made me look bigger or smaller. So I was just like, I would drown. There's a sweater I had in my high school years that came past my knees, and I was convinced because it was so big that I looked tiny underneath it, which in reality I didn't. My mom cleverly got rid of that thing. I don't know what happened to that. I would still love it to have it to this day. But yeah, I used to believe that. So because of that, I think now that I've, woken up and realized I don't look great in baggy clothes, I'm now like trying to make sure that things fit. Like when I leave the store, do they fit? And if they don't fit, like sometimes this happens to women, especially more than men, in that right now I wear a size 8. But if an 8 doesn't fit me right, I'll buy a 10, and I don't mind having it altered, because sometimes we fall in between a size.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And because the sizes can be very unforgiving, so I'm like, I'm not going to deliberately buy something that doesn't fit. So I'm going to buy the bigger size and let someone bring it in.
Right,
so
tailor it.
Definitely tailor it. But I got to confess that I love anything with pockets. Pockets are my jam because I don't want to carry a purse if I don't have to. And so I want something to stuff something in. Like, can I put my phone in there? Can I put a chapstick in there? Can I put some tissue in there? What can I do? So I want somewhere to put stuff. And I think that's why I like yoga pants. I mean, they do feel good, but whoever came up with the idea of putting those giant pockets on the sides that you can fit your phone, and girl, put other things in there too that I probably shouldn't have. But I mean, whoever came up with that, I want to kiss them right there on the mouth, because I love you, because pockets are life. I need to put stuff places, and whoever thought of that was brilliant.
So whoever is manufacturing women's clothes with fake pockets.
Oh, stop it. Just stop it.
I have no words, because it pisses me off every single time when I want to put my hand, because I put my hands in my pockets all the time.
Yeah.
And if I think there's a pocket there and I try to put my hand in it and I can't even get my fingers in it, stop that.
Yeah,
Just stop.
Are you trying? I mean, I get that sometimes pockets, the way they're cut, can make you look bigger. But this whole fake pocket thing, you're just ticking me off. That's all you're doing.
I'd rather you just leave off the thing.
Yeah, leave off the pocket. Yeah, but I mean, if you find a skirt or a dress with a pocket, oh my God, that's my jam. That is my jam. So I'm just curious. So what kind of clothes are you buying right now?
Well, mostly, like right now, I think it's work oriented, like being in the office oriented, because for those of you who don't know, I've gone back to the office 3 days a week. So I'm at home Mondays and Fridays, and during the middle of the week, I get to be grown up.
Right.
So during the pandemic, I got rid of most of my grown up clothes, and so I'm kind of having to replenish. So that's where my focus is at the moment, is work clothes. Right.
I think for me as well, the same. And then I'm now back working at home. We're done. The exact opposite things happen to us at the same time. I do go and dress for my classroom. So I do still teach in person. So I try to wear pants that fit, and the top that doesn't show a cleavage, because I don't have to worry. If I'm talking to a group of people, I don't have to worry about my boobs coming out or whatever. So I don't want to worry about that. So I do go for comfort, but I find now that, I used to love shopping and having lots and lots of clothes. Now I find that I have I'm willing to have fewer clothes, and I'm willing to wear them multiple times and have something that I love, and I don't have to have a ton of clothes. Here are the 5 shirts I use for work, and I try to make sure I switch them out and change them out. But I'm fine having less now, and just having those things. Those are my work clothes, but then having those things for the office or at home. So
yeah, definitely.
So I find I'm not buying as much.
Well, that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just curious, because we haven't talked about this. Do you buy clothes online? Mm-hmm. What are you buying?
Well, I discovered this site, so twofold. Mm-hmm. So things like, and sorry guys, but things like bras and panties, I will buy online, because it's like I have a specific style and a specific brand that I like to wear, and I will buy them online all the time. Things like camisoles, like that you layer under things, or a plain T-shirt.
Right.
I will buy those online. And then recently, I also discovered a site called ThreadUp. So ThreadUp is a online retailer where you can buy gently used clothing, which is awesome, because I like to thrift, and so thrifting for me in person sometimes is difficult. In the area, because they get overshopped so much, and when you have a very specific need, like I want a jacket. And you can go to your local thrift store and look for a jacket, and it may not be there. But ThreadUp allows you to actually search by your size, by the color you're interested in, and the style you're looking for.
Oh, nice.
So, but it's still less money than you would spend at like a regular retailer.
Right.
So it's a little more than like going to Goodwill, but it's less expensive than going to, I don't know, Macy's or something like that.
Well, I've never heard of that, so I just wrote that down so I can remember to go and look at that. I do buy some things online. I don't tend to buy like my everyday stuff because like what I wear to work or work out. But like I would buy like some underwear or bras like that. That's just easier, especially if you found something that works. Like, okay, this works. I'll order like pajama pants or a bra, and like I like this, and I'll go back right to the same site and I'll go and order like 4 or 5, and then like yeah. So once I figured out I like it again, because Gen X were very, very loyal, I'm gonna keep going back. So, but I do read those reviews. Like if I don't buy, if you're selling something online, I'm reading every single review. And if you're selling something and it has 0 reviews, I'm not buying it. Even if it looks and has the right price and the whatever, it needs some reviews. Someone's got to buy it before me. So
Right. No, I think that makes sense, and it does make the online shopping experience less stressful by reading those reviews. So I'm right there with you.
So I'm just curious. So no, it sounds like we're in kind of the same vein of we're buying less. We're very deliberate with our shopping and what we like, and we want to cut a certain way. What do you wish that you could find? What are you not finding out there?
Well, going back to the shoe thing, cute shoes that look sexy. Like there are not a lot of nice looking comfortable shoes. They're typically, shoes that look like orthopedic shoes.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad. Because I like cute shoes. Like I love Converse shoes, for example. They're not sexy. Those are cute shoes.
Yeah.
But they have absolutely no support. They are a sneaker. Why are there no support things in these sneakers? It makes no sense. It's Converse, if you're listening to me, for those high tops, please put like some sort of arch support in there so people with sad feet like mine can actually wear them.
You don't have sad feet.
I do have sad feet. I mean, they make me sad sometimes because it's just I can't wear what I would consider cute shoes anymore.
Right.
So finding a pair of shoes that is cute and comfortable, I feel like I've struck like the lottery.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. And then shirts that actually fit.
Yeah, you come down. Yeah. For me, I hate shopping for shorts, either in person or online. And a part of me needs to like just give up on shorts, because I like pants have to hit a certain way. I like skirts to hit a certain way, and shorts got to hit. And I always find like it's either up your butt or it's like way down near your knee, and I feel like I'll just feel, hokey in them. Like they're just too long. Like, what are you doing? And so I feel matronly with those long things on. So I can't find the middle. Like there's not a middle of the ground. And so now I just kind of like aim at the skirts. Like I love a good skirt, girl. Like if it's hitting right above the knee and then it's got shorts built in. You're mine. I love it. So.
Oh, I totally get the appeal of skirts, but I struggle because I'm tall, and so that what do they call that? It's kind of like how long it is in the crotch area is never enough in a skirt. I mean, just because they don't typically make them for people my height. So I struggle with that. Plus, they're usually too short.
Yeah.
So what I do is either wear bike shorts, like yoga bike shorts.
Yeah, I do that too,
under a regular skirt, because you get the non-chafing thing going on, but then you have the cuteness of a skirt. But girl, I have discovered men's shorts. Now, for me, it works because I'm tall.
Yeah.
But men's shorts, they have pockets, not just little itty bitty pockets. They have big pockets.
Because they're carrying wallets and stuff.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
They're carrying keys. They're carrying phones. They're carrying wallets. So, and they are all functional pockets. So I am a complete convert to men's shorts, and I get them they do make them in lengths, which is nice. So for women's shorts, typically you're kind of stuck with whatever they have.
1 or 2, yeah.
Right. Whereas men's shorts will go from 5 inches in length, 7 inches in length, 10 inches in length. So if you don't want them all the way down to your knee, you get the shorter version, and then you've got a pair of. So I would highly recommend at least trying a pair of men's shorts.
Okay.
They're amazing.
Okay. That's good. Good to know. I also found that I'm staying away from prints, like big prints.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Like, I'm like, oh, she's got wrinkles and giant flowers on her. I'm like, that's just a lot coming at you. So I tend to stay a lot more prints and solid colors. And I'm finding that I'm sticking with like a signature color, like one or two like signature colors.
Yeah.
Like I like certain shades of like that blue-green, and then maybe black here and there. And then what's happening now is that because I buy things in like the few colors I like, people are like, oh, you're so coordinated. I'm like, I just buy the same color. Like if I see it, I buy it. So then I start looking like, oh, I'm looking like I'm put together. I like that accidental put together feeling. That's nice.
Well, that means most everything in your closet will go together. I mean, I do the same thing. For me, it's purple, but it's like purple and blue. Everything else is black, gray, purple, blue. They all go together.
Yeah.
So I can do some really nice combinations that way.
So is there any tips we can leave people who are like us, struggling? They're in their 50s and 60s, and they're trying to find themselves out there in a store. Any kind of tips besides, buying men's shorts? I wrote that down. What other tips can we give people out there to kind of figure it out?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm really into thrifting because not only are you saving money, but it's also having less of an impact on the planet. Because the way that they make clothes these days, it's usually for just a few wearings. You don't,
right.
They don't have any longevity. And so thrifting, typically the clothes are a little better made. And so I feel better about investing in them. So that's a big one. And then don't worry so much about what people think about what you're wearing.
Right.
If you're comfortable in it, that's what's most important. Like for me, wearing men's shorts, when I was younger, I would have just like died and fallen through the floor if I was wearing men's shorts. But now I am embracing that because they're comfortable and they look, they're shorts. They're not going to look great, great, but they're comfortable, and I'm totally embracing my men's shorts.
I love it. I find out I'm skipping out on the long tops. So some people wear the long tops, and again, that hits too close to the whole baggy thing for me, and that things don't hit well when it comes to the where shirts are hitting or are not hitting well for a lot of people. So that's why I tend to avoid the long tops because it makes my legs look like teeny tiny. like oh, there's her knees. Like it's like a tunic and the knees and then whatever. So and then I think I've come to the realization that I cannot wear capris. That it hits at the worst part of your leg. It's like the widest part. It just makes you look stumpy. It just doesn't look great. And I see people who are very long-legged and they're very narrow-legged, and capris look great on them. And I just feel like I don't look right.
Oh, I get it. And capris are tricky because, like you say, if they're not exactly the right length, they just kind of make you look like your legs are shorter than they should be. I thought of something else though that I also look for, which is no dry cleaning. Because dry cleaning, I have dogs. Yeah. If I have to dry clean it every time I wear it, it's just not happening.
But I did find a good tip because I try to invest in some nice pieces that I'm going to wear, and sometimes I don't want to put in the dryer. And like those delicates, I might hand wash them. I'll hand wash, but I won't go to the dry cleaner. And I found this great tip when I was doing research for this episode. It's about people using their salad spinners to dry delicates.
Oh, what a good idea.
Because that's so hard when you're hand washing and then it's so latent with all that water.
Yeah.
So they're getting out their salad spinners and then putting that stuff in their salad spinner to get all that free water out and then they hang it up. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love clever approaches.
Very cool.
So I think we covered a lot of ground today when it comes to clothes. And we were all kind of like struggling for finding what's actually going to fit. But it sounds like when you hit your 50s and 60s, you're looking at things a little differently. Like maybe you're not buying tons of clothes, but you're maybe seeing them as more of an investment, but you're You want it to represent what you're valuing. And like for now, I'm valuing, I want to be put together and cozy. Those are my two things. Those are my biggest ones.
Agreed.
So I learned some great tips from you today, like the thread up. I did not know about consignment online. I had no idea that was happening.
That's my favorite one. There's several others out there too. Thrifting is a great way to lessen your impact on the planet and on your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason that I like to do it. I think that we all just need to do what we like from a fashion perspective and support companies that are recognizing us and our needs, because I don't feel like we get as much attention in the fashion world.
We don't. But I think that what's important for free rangers to do is to talk about it more. Yeah. And if you're getting frustrated, talk to someone who you think has it figured out and say, hey, where are you buying your clothes? How are you doing this? And share tips with each other. And because we're definitely, we learn so much from each other and connect in that way. And then like for me, like if I find something that I really like pajama pants, if I find something that I really like, I'm going to go back and buy more. So we are a very loyal bunch. And so, definitely stay with the brands that are serving you well and stay yourself. Like, don't try to be someone else. You're done with that. Just stay you and own it. Just own it all you can.
Definitely.
That level of honesty. And if you are someone who is out there making clothes and you're listening to this trying to get inspiration, keep in mind that Gen X, we have very specific needs, and we're looking more for comfort, and we're not trying to be young. We're also not trying to be matronly. So do look out for us out there.
Definitely. And if you haven't connected with us on social media yet, I encourage you to go to Instagram and to TikTok and to Facebook and follow us and like us and tell us what appeals to you about fashion. What are you doing now that was different than when you were young? And give us some tips.
Where are you shopping?
Where are you shopping?
I want to know.
And thanks for listening, y'all. Thank you for joining us for Free Range Flock. Our goal is to inspire and celebrate who we are, the Generation X kids who grew up and decided to do things their way, with grace, humor, and joy. This has been a production of Sassy Am. If you want to learn more about our podcast, follow our blog, share your positive insights about being a free ranger, or to suggest topics or guests for future episodes, please visit our website at sassyam.com. That's SASSAYAM.com. Keep pushing.